Tim Black.
If as Black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty, if we felt like that as Black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Amen. Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me.
So I think she's talking about the Sweeney woman, the one that did the American Eagle pants, jeans thing, and they don't want to mention names, but that's what she's talking about. East, that's what I think she's talking about, so let's get into that.
That a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Amen. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look? Mm-hmm. Like, isn't that wild? Yeah. And so for little girls, I don't want what was done to little Black girls done to little white girls. I don't want it done to any girls. I want all the little girls in the world to know that you are unique, you are beautiful, you are you, and you can compliment another girl, you can compliment another woman and still know that you are epic and amazing. So that's what I would say for the girls. We need to nurture young girls. Yes, whether they are Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, they still need to be nurtured. They cannot continue to pay for other people's sins. They haven't done anything wrong.
Amen. And what do you think about for young men? For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes. See, dear young men, you have amazing role models like handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
For boys, be boys.
Amen.
Be boys, it's okay. Be boys. There's nothing wrong with being a boy. How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound is that?
Amen.
Boys will be boys, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's what I want to say. What people misunderstand about me now, I don't care about it. I really don't. In fact, I love that they misunderstand me now.
I do too, because it shows that you're not a part of this world. Someone once told me, do not be surprised when the world acts like the world. And I held on to that so much because even being in this role now, people they're trying to figure me out. Okay, enjoy. I am who I am. There's nothing to hide. And I know you feel the same way when people misunderstand you. And you're like, okay, well, I have an audience of one. Well, now I have an audience of two. But I have an audience in heaven. And I know the Lord knows me.
Here goes Joe Budden. He was a friend of Nicki Minaj. Now he said he's no longer a friend and they'll no longer be kicking it in any way whatsoever because he disagreed with her comments. And that's sort of like the sentiment I've seen of most people, most Black Americans who are non-MAGA, and pretty much label Nicki Minaj as a sellout, yada, yada, yada. Complimenting Trump, sitting there with talking points and whatever. Talking points usually of the white nationalist type point of view or whatever. And they just say she's backing MAGA and she's turning her back on Black Americans. But I got a different take on it, though it's not in defense of her. It is, look, I don't think Nicki Minaj understands much. And that doesn't, you don't get to avoid criticism because you're dumb. But some of the things she said were pretty dumb. But some things she said leads me to believe that she's been kind of pushed into this position because out of frustration for other criticism that the left and some of these Democratic type ass kissers have put her in. Because she said a lot. She said several times, she feels like she's been pushed. She got tired of people coming for her, people calling her out, people name calling her, people dissing her for her political views, not having the right groupthink or whatever. Said a lot of that. And it's real easy when you're in this, when you got a microphone and you can say what you want to say, to retaliate, feel like lashing out. That can make you say things. I'm not saying that means Nicki Minaj can say whatever the fuck she wants to say without repercussions. Yeah, it's going to be repercussions. She deserved them joints. I'm just saying, some of the things she said, I feel like they're driven by that. And also being dumb. Yeah, she said some things that were dumb. But before we get into the dumb things, let me talk to some of the people that have been criticizing her, like Joe Budden. Like so many people. It's many people. If you can't articulate what you're mad about when it comes to Nicki Minaj, if you can't articulate a real argument, yeah, you're just a follower. You're a sheep. And particularly media people. Now, people at home, people that just have regular media accounts who are not influencers, if you criticize Nicki Minaj just because she went on this show, fine. I get it, man. You can criticize her. Fine. Do it if that's what you want to do. I don't give a shit. I'm not here to defend that. But if you're somebody in media and you can't articulate what's really fucked up about her, like I watched the Joe Budden podcast. 4 out of 5 people couldn't tell me really what Nicki Minaj did that was so wrong. Like, y'all coming for her neck, but for what? I'm about to come for her neck, but I got reasons. And I can articulate the reasons. And it's not because she called Trump dashing. Who gives a fuck? Why is that? Why come she can't feel that way? I think it's bullshit. She said J.D. Vance was dashing as well. I think that's dumb. That's weird as hell. But hey, whatever. People think crazy shit. I'm betting most people that are talking about Nicki Minaj didn't even take the time to watch that clip. How are you going to be upset about somebody and don't even know what you're upset about? Because groupthink told you to be upset with her. Groupthink, the herd said she's not a part of she's not a part of the crew. And that crew is the Democratic Party crew. Because you ain't articulated how she betrayed black people. What did she say that was so bad that betrayed Black America? I'm about to tell you. But until you watch this, you don't even fucking know. So you need to check yourself. Realize you're being played by a system. You're being played by the system if you don't know what you're mad about. You don't know why you riding on somebody. If you can't really, truly explain what it is, then you got no real basis. And that means you're a wind-up tool for the system. Hey, look, man, if you don't like me, if you don't rock with me, you think my opinions are bullshit, that's fine, fam. It's a free world. All I say is take that shit over there. Go make content. Help us both. Don't just spend all your ammunition in my comment section. Go make content about it. At least then I benefit from it. But if you can't articulate an argument, what are we doing? Now, my reasons for calling Nicki Minaj a damn fool is her ignorance. Nicki Minaj is comparing black women and white women as if white women and black women have the same amount of power in society when they do not. And the things that she is defending for white women don't need defense. The last thing Erica Kirk needs is your ass to defend her. Last thing Sweeney needs is your goofy ass defending them. Let me give you 5 things. 5 things. 5 reasons why Nicki Minaj doesn't know shit and doesn't make sense and should shut up, and she has no grounds to the shit she's claiming. Because the whole thing is, hey, black people should not treat white people a certain way. Black women should not treat white women a certain way because white women don't deserve to be treated that way or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what that is. 95% of the time, black women do not hold positions of power where they can terminate jobs from, take money out the pockets, take opportunity away from white women in any capacity whatsoever. So what you said is a moot point. Black women do not control the destinies of white women. The finances, how their children are going to be schooled or treated at school in our public school system, how they're going to be treated medically by medical professionals, or how they're going to be enacted or dealt with law enforcement. We don't run the system, Nicki Minaj, so there is nothing black people can do except make a video that's complaining on TikTok or some shit. And I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj, that's really not a big deal. That does not control the life of anybody. Because there's a block button. And if you hit block button, you never see that motherfucker ever again. What are you even talking about? But here goes my 5 reasons. Here are things that white women never dealt with, that black women have had to deal with in our history, that you're totally leaping over to cape for white women. Enforced breeding. During slavery. Black women did not control their bodies. White women did. What are you even talking about, Nicki Minaj? Enslaved black women were routinely subjected to violence by white enslavers. Sometimes white women themselves were the ones doing the violence. You do know this, right? What are you talking about? Medical experimentation without consent. Black women were experimented upon, used as subjects of unethical medical experiments. For instance, Dr. J. Marion Sims, known as the father of modern gynecology, performed painful surgeries on enslaved women, and they have the names of the women. Betsy and Lucy in Archer, without anesthesia in the 1840s to develop treatments for conditions like the fistula. I won't go any further with that, but it's very graphic and disgusting and horrific. Demonic shit. Number 3, forced sterilization. White women never went under forced sterilization. Under eugenics programs. There's been no eugenics programs for white women. No one's been trying to control the breeding cycle or the ability of white women to breed, as in to have children, as to create offspring. And since we're on the same topic, number 4, separation of families through selling off their children. White women's children were never taken from their bosom and sold or kicked or stomped or fed to alligators or none of that shit. Or lynched just because, it's Sunday, we need to lynch a nigga. It's a picnic. Pick a nigga and lynch one. These are things never experienced by white women. Thrust upon them by black women. These things have never happened. What are you even talking about, Nicki Minaj? And see, this is my point. Nicki Minaj doesn't know anything. What do you know? What, are you complaining about social media posts? Black women don't control enough of anything to ever put white women in a position where they can feel anywhere near even an iota, a smidgen of the oppression that black women have felt. And number 5, and I can keep going, but we'll stop at number 5, because, you know, people's attention spans wane. Disparities in voting and civil rights. White women got the right to vote in the 20s. Black women didn't really get it till 65. What the hell are you talking about, Nicki Minaj? White women didn't have to wait on civil rights. They had them. They were white. Hence the term white woman. So when I'm hearing people complain about Nicki Minaj, they talk about things about fucking politics. They're talking about Democrats and Republicans. They're talking about MAGA versus Kamala. Motherfucker, I'm talking about black people. I'm talking about how we've been treated in the system, how we've existed, how we've been dragged behind cars, systemically, bred like animals and treated like furniture. And these people are complaining about Nicki's because he said Trump was handsome. I mean, how superficial and stupid are you? That you having all of these great arguments. It's like you walk into a room. One of the walls are missing. There's a pile of dog shit in the corner. Well, human feces in the corner. Literally a pile of human feces. And you're complaining about an overflowing trash can in the center of the room. That's how stupid you sound. And you're going, who did this? Who did this? Meanwhile, the wind is blowing in from the missing wall, and the stench of human feces is waffling through the room. And you're complaining about the box of trash in the center that needs to be dumped, the wastebasket that needs to be emptied. That's how you sound with the complaints that you're making about Nicki Minaj right now. And all I'm trying to say is, grow up. You don't sound like an authentic person. You sound like a person that's sitting here from them people. You don't sound like a free person. You sound like a wind-up toy. You sound like a robot. You sound like a zombie. Why else would you make a mountain out of a molehill over some bullshit? Meanwhile, you got real issues that you could address, that you could hold it or did the rights on, that you could educate her, not just her, but everybody. And you choose not to. Half y'all who talking shit are just looking for a bag. And you just playing the pile-on game because that's what time it is. Because you're a Democrat looking for your paymaster to give you a pat on the head in a biscuit, a butter biscuit treat, like Scooby Snacks. You as bad as Nicki, just in other ways. And yeah, I said it because I'm a free black man and I can say that shit. And it's real and it's true. It don't make her right, but you ain't right or you're just as wrong as 2 left feet. Calling her out on bullshit when the real shit's sitting right there. What, too heavy for you, Joe Budden? Too real for you, Mark Lamont? What's wrong, Ish? All y'all, Ice, Parks, what the fuck are you even talking about? It ain't just about them, but those are major people I heard talking. Man, I'm not exonerating Nicki Minaj from a bullshit. I'm not. I mean, there was one part of it was humiliating. Kirk asked her, talk to her about her religion, her God. What is it about her faith? The word solid bullshit that fell out of Nicki Minaj's mouth, the hypocrisy of her caping for an organization that was founded by a person who despised her by the name of Charlie Kirk, who said so in videos, specifically that she was some shit. It was a wart on the ass of Black America.
Right now, Black culture is being held captive by influences, songs, and role models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old Black girls. I don't.
And that she sat there on that panel, sat there with Kirk. It just shows the hypocrisy, not only of the organization, but of Charlie Kirk's wife, and the stupidity of Nicki Minaj as well. But hey, When I'm right, I'm right. But all that being said, there's bigger fish to fry. Why don't y'all ever fry the big fish? Just once. Y'all some cowards, man.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.